Hello and welcome to Lantern Lane Stories. Tonight's story is Dewey, the library's cat. On January 18th, 1988, the town of Spencer, Iowa, woke to a morning so cold the world looked like it was sleeping. The temperature had dropped to 0 degrees in the darkness. Not 0 like a winter's day, 0 like a frozen breath on glass, 0 like the color of steel. The snow was deep. The grass had forgotten it was grass. Even the biggest oaks seemed tired, branches drooping under the weight of ice. Vicki Myron pushed open the back door of the Spencer Public Library. Her breath came out white and slow. The hinges creaked. They were stiff with cold. Inside, the library would be warm, with its lamps and its books and its smell of paper pages, but first she needed to check the book drop. The book drop was a metal slot in the wall outside. All night long, people could open it and return their books safely. Vicki's fingers were already cold inside her gloves. She pulled the metal door open and then she heard it, a sound so tiny it almost wasn't a sound at all. A small broken cry. Like a whisper, like a question asked in sleep. Vicki looked inside the book drop box. It was dark in there and cold, so very cold. At first, she saw only books, hardbacks and paperbacks piled in the metal box. Then she saw the kitten. It was small, smaller than a coffee cup, orange and white with stripes that looked like watercolors left in the rain. Its fur was matted and dark with frost. The kitten was not moving. Vicki's heart stopped. She had seen still things before. She knew what stillness meant. But then there, the smallest breath, the side of the kitten rose, fell, rose again. It was alive. Vicki did not think. She reached down with both hands and lifted the kitten out of the metal box. It was so cold it felt like ice. The kitten did not resist. "Oh, little one," Vicki whispered. "Oh, little star." She tucked the kitten against her chest, inside her coat, against the warmth of her own body. She ran back inside the library. The warmth hit her face like opening an oven. She closed the door behind her and hurried down the hallway. "We have an emergency," she said. The other librarians looked up. Vicki set the kitten gently on a clean towel. It did not move. Jean brought warm water in a basin. Very slowly, very gently, they washed the ice from the kitten's fur. The kitten's eyes opened. They were like honey in lamplight. It looked at Vicki. It looked at Jean. Then, very weakly, it reached out one tiny paw and touched Vicki's hand. That kitten did not want to leave Vicki's arms. All through the day, as the library filled with people, the kitten slept against her chest. Vicki could feel its heartbeat so fast like a tiny bird flying. She wrapped it in a soft blanket, the color of cream. "We need to take him to a doctor," said Jean. "His paws are frostbitten. His ears look frozen. The veterinarian came that afternoon." She examined the kitten carefully, gently. "He is very lucky," she said. "A few more hours in that cold and we would not have found him." She gave Vicki medicines to help the kitten heal. She showed her how to rub warmth back into his tiny, frostbitten paws. "He was only 8 weeks old," the veterinarian said. "Someone left him there on purpose, I think. During the worst cold we have had all winter." Vicki held the kitten closer. Every morning, she brought him to the library. Every evening, she took him home. He lived in a cardboard box lined with blankets near the warm copy machine. The kitten ate from a bottle, tiny sips of kitten formula 3 times a day. After 2 weeks, his eyes grew bright. After 3 weeks, he began to move. After a month, he could walk without limping. And then, one morning, he did something wonderful. He walked over to where Vicki was standing. He rubbed his small head against her leg. He made a sound, not quite a meow, but a purr, a small motor running in his chest saying, "I am alive, I'm here, I am home." The librarians gathered together. "We cannot keep calling him the kitten," said Jean, smiling. "The town should decide," said Vicki. "This is Spencer's kitten now." They put a big sign on the library desk, "Help us name our library cat." For 2 weeks, people came in and filled out name cards. Families with children wrote suggestions. Grandparents wrote suggestions. Even people who rarely came to the library came in just to name the kitten. There were nearly 400 suggestions. Some names were silly, orangey, mittens, stripey. Some names were grand, king of the library, lord of the books. But again and again, one name appeared, Dewey. Dewey, after Melvil Dewey, the man who invented the Dewey Decimal System. The numbers that organize every book in every library in America. It was a perfect name for a library cat, so the librarians added something playful. Dewey read more books? One Saturday afternoon, they announced it in the library. A photographer came from the Spencer Daily Reporter. Vicki held Dewey up to the camera. He was no longer tiny and frozen. His orange fur was fluffy and clean. His golden eyes were bright. He looked out at all the faces watching him, all these people who had named him, who had voted for him, who had brought their children to see him. And Dewey reached out and gently touched Vicki's chin with his small pink nose. The photographer captured the moment in the newspaper the next week. There he was, Dewey the library cat, safe and warm and home. Dewey lived in the Spencer Public Library for 19 years. Every morning, he would walk through the stacks, his tail held high. He knew every corner, every shadow, every reading chair. When a child came in who was nervous about reading, a child with shaky hands and uncertain eyes, Dewey would find that child. He would jump into their lap, he would purr, and somehow with a warm kitten pressed against their chest, it became easier to open a book. Years passed. Children grew up. The library grew warm with their stories, their learning, their growing love of books. Dewey was there for all of it. His name became known in other towns. A Japanese film crew came and filmed him sleeping on a book. But Dewey never cared about being famous. He only cared about the children, the warmth of the library, the smell of pages. The quiet moments before sleep, when a child would read by lamplight, fingers tangled in orange fur. In 1988, on the coldest morning of the year, a tiny kitten was left in the dark, alone in the freezing cold. But a kind librarian found him. She warmed him, she named him, she gave him a home. And that home was a library full of books, full of light, full of children who learned that even in the coldest winter, you can find warmth and friendship and stories to hold close. And so Spencer, Iowa, also slowly fell asleep. Good night.